Hello, this is the Anatomy of Hello Heart. Here we discuss the Pinoy romcom by dissecting the episodes of Hello Heart, a miniseries starring Gerald Anderson and Gigi Delana, also starring Dwight Gaston and Alora Sasam. Co-produced by ABS-CBN Entertainment and IGE, a video platform streaming in 191 territories worldwide. I'm Raz, the insider and director of Hello Heart, and every week I gather my three meticulous friends to hear their unforgiving views and give unfiltered answers to all their questions about the latest episode. But minus the spoilers, of course. They are Jason, the expert, Mel, the wannabe, and John Ray, the outsider.
Bukas ang drawer na yung kadahan-dahan.
The previous episode starts with an apparent truce between Hart and Saul. Hart does everything she can to be Evelyn in Mamita's eyes, like preparing packed meals for Saul's Rafael. To keep this pretense up, Hart starts sleeping in Saul's bed while Saul sleeps on the floor. As Mamita's mood continues to improve, Saul asks Hart to watch out for a name of an incorporator that only Mamita knows. Hart then runs into her own family emergency after A goes missing. Saul helps Hart look for A, who has gone back to her biological mother, who needed to be bailed out of jail. Saul witnesses the tearful reconciliation and sees firsthand the deep bond that runs between the two, despite not being real siblings. On their way home, they take a detour. Hart treats Saul to express her gratitude, and they get to know each other more over a meal. Saul seems to be having a change of heart about Hart. He confirms this when he admits to his therapist that Hart makes him and Mamita happy. Soon, Hart gets the break she's been waiting for. Saul invites Hart to pitch her candle lotion products to Glow Up, a cosmetics company that Be Mine Company is partnering with for expansion. Meanwhile, after sealing the purchase of Notre Chalet, Saul discovers that Jason Rodriguez is also part of Glow Up on the day of the scheduled pitch, putting Saul in a sour mood. Despite Hart's effort and preparation, she fails to convince Glow Up to invest in I Heart You candles. All of the day's pent-up tension explodes when Saul attacks Jason after seeing him make unwelcome moves on Hart. An unshakable awkwardness settles on both Hart and Saul because of the incident, until Hart gets a call from her ninang Lenlen in Hong Kong, who shares the news of her upcoming visit. This sends Hart to a happier mood, and the episode ends on a shot of a photo of a man, Mamita, and a young Lenlen holding a baby.
Wow, pang Netflix level.
Ay nako, baka magulat kayo kung saan ko
Kami,
ipalabas.
ang tanay na, Chuck.
Ayan, sige. Alright, so welcome back guys. It's our 5th episode watch party today. Before we go to watching the episode, I wanted to throw back to when we first did it, no? How was it when you first watched the series, and how did it develop up until the 4th episode? Let's see where we got to with your expectations, whether they were broken or where they were affirmed.
To be honest ako, Raz, I didn't have any expectations because hindi ako sanay watching a local series, a local miniseries. Actually, when I think about it, I don't think I've seen a local miniseries. It's always movie or yung sobrang haba na teleserye. So, to be honest, I don't have any expectations, which is actually good. Kasi I like coming in with no expectations para I don't get disappointed or I don't unfairly judge the program before I even watch it. Have you seen a local miniseries? Ako, I haven't.
See, genre definitely hasn't, right?
Yeah, but my expectation coming in was that because you were making it, that it was gonna be at least decent.
Wow, thank you. Thank you for the vote of confidence, John Ray.
Oh
Wow.
gosh.
John Ray, by the way, has been an actor in one of my short films, which became a finalist in Cinemalaya. So, and that was like super, super long ago. I wasn't even directing officially yet back then.
School project, was that a school project?
Lead role,
No,
lead
that was just a
role.
personal project. I just
like decided to make a film. And I got you. No, but I suppose like in terms of the genre, because maybe like you had no expectations on what's gonna happen, but maybe perhaps with regard to how we know the genre.
I kind of feel like these days, kasi the baton of rom-coms has kind of passed to like Korean dramas. I don't think the US produces a lot right now that is watchable. um, uh, I guess the one refreshing thing in comparison so far is, I mean, enjoyable pa rin naman yung Korean dramas, but there are so many tropes that are always there that are sometimes a little annoying na, kasi I feel like they don't need to be there. Which so far naman, I think I haven't seen in Hello Heart, which could also be a product of it being a shorter miniseries, right? So you don't need to put in all of this fluff. So the pacing has been good, parang just right, and not a lot of like dull moments that I've had to endure so far.
Endure, endure talaga. Like
Endure.
it's such suffering to come out of it. Thanks. How about you, Jason?
I was just expecting it to be different. When I saw the trailer, and I told you about it, I could easily mention several rom-coms as well that are similar. So I was hoping that it won't be similar to this one that I've seen already. It won't be similar. Diba, I've mentioned everything from the poster to the actual trailer. I, diba, I've mentioned like Bride for Rent or A Very Special Love. It's similar to this. It's similar to that. And so far, after those first four episodes, I mean, there are still some tropes which I think is really needed. I mean, you can't get away with having a rom-com or with the genre and not use those tropes because those are effective naman as long as you use them effectively. I mean, I don't have any problems with using tropes, right? I was also curious kasi when I saw the trailer how the two leads would interact. I am not sure if Gigi can act, what the chemistry would be with Gerald. So I was actually pleasantly surprised. Nami-meet naman nila ang expectation so far. So I was very happy to see all of those actually.
There. Okay. So we kind of ended really abruptly with a very important reveal at the end of the fourth episode. So let's all go to our IG app or website. Let's watch the fifth episode. It's called Time of Our Lives. And let's watch until the 19 minutes 43-second mark. 1943.
Mahaba.
And John Ray, do not go over. 19 minutes.
Nalaro ko ba when it's so interesting?
Mabawi.
Because it's a decent work by Raz. Okay, let's do this.
Oh, it's ano, over 40 minutes ulit.
Yes. Oy, napansin agad. Okay, so we can go do that.
Okay.
Tirador na props.
Dito na lang ako.
Okay, standby rehearsal, clear?
Asan ang mga bumaba? Wala bumabit. Wala. As in, wala.
Happy birthday po! Ako po si everyone. Ma'am, sana po magustuhan nyo. Nag-ihaw kami. Nag-happy birthday po. Start singing.
Dito pala.
5, 4, 3, 2. Action!
Okay. Ilang pa dito, ha? Sige, ate. Ay, na si Donya! Yan si Happy birthday Wala si Juan. Birthday po! Birthday po!
Happy birthday po!
Happy birthday po, ma! What is this? Ay, poodle pie po yan para po lahat tayo makakain kasama kayo!
Sarap na sarap!
Let's go!
Action!
Sarap!
Paabot naman yung kabati.
Sarap ang sarap!
Pwede kumain ka pa.
Thank you, ate! Sarap naman!
Yung lagay-lagay doon, may hawak pero you don't need to eat it. So I have cutaways. I'll do the cutaways na time.
Rolling! Roll! 5, 4, 3, 2.
Nasabot na ng strip.
Ay, hindi pa po. First, kay Mang Tony na lines po. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2. Action!
Maganda tong naisip ko. Ang tagal ko na hindi nagkakamay sa party.
Nako, ate!
Kain lang po.
Lagi palang party sa atin kasi lagi tayo nagkakamay.
Lagi ang party.
Tama dito.
Ay, kasi kumain ka.
Si, minsan lang to, kain kayo ng kain.
Kakain ako. May prutas oh.
Sarap. Eh, paabot naman ng orange. Thank you.
Hold. Hold lang pa.
Cut.
Okay.
Sumasabay siya doon.
Sa hipon.
Ay, yung sa hipon po, yung kunyari nagkaganon na po sila din na.
Hindi, wala pa naman. Wala pang kita. Kuya Je, ano na to, close up. So yung sa kamay. Pero from the top pa din. Okay?
From my line pa rin.
Apa. Okay, game, clear? Ano?
Para lang sa'yo kita. Basta sa'yo ka. Ako'y ligaya. Minuto naghihintay ng tawag mo. Marinig lang boses mo. Matiyak kompleto na ako. Wala nang iba pang hahanapin. Basta ikaw ang aking kapiling. Lahat ng gagawin dahil kasama ka. Aming inspirasyon. Basta't nandito ka. Hey! Ako'y liligaya. Everybody up! Dahil sa'yo ako'y matapang. Dahil sa'yo ako'y lalapang. Para sa'yo pagmamahal na walang katapusan. Dahil sa'yo merong pangarap. Pagmamahal ko sa'yo'y dapat. Para sa'yo pagmamahal na higit pa sa sapat.
Ang lahat para lahat sa'yo sila.
Basta't nandito ka, ako'y liligaya. Pinagdarasan ko na sobrang na sana'y tanggapin mo ang aking inaalas. Naman salamat sa kaliwanag, buhay ko ito ikaw mag-drop na. Tanggapin mo ang regalo ko, mga rosas sa choco. Liliwanag ang buhay mo, pag-inabas mo na ang puso ko. Ikaw ang tanging inspirasyon sa bawat araw na harapin. Gagawin mo ang lahat para lang sa'yo sinta. Ang tagal nandito ka, ako'y binigaya. Dahil sa'yo ako'y matapang. Dahil sa'yo ako'y nalapang. Dahil sa'yo Gagawin ko ang lahat para lang sa'yo sinta. Basta sandali ko nga, ako'y liligaya.
Ayun, sakto. Ako lang yung Tagalog. And then parang
Kasi yung birthday girl, dapat kayo talaga yung
tuloy-tuloy lang yung kahit may tugtog ha. And then, very syempre, and then parang mapipilitan na ano. Yan, kinuha ka niya. Sige, kinuha mo siya. And then, go here. Yan na. So, ito na yung tuloy-tuloy na with the lines na matatapakan, ganyan-ganyan. So, as soon as naibigay sa inyo yung mic, itutuloy niyo yung pagkanta dapat, ha? So, kayong dalawa na nun.
Ito, parang... Anong music pa?
Yung
so hindi pang nandun.
Hindi lifting yan, okay?
Ang liit ko po.
Oo nga eh, wala bang ano?
Sama na ata. Ay, hindi na yan? Okay lang. Pero okay lang. Sige na. Wala.
And then you turn around yan, Je. Sige, yan. Pa-open dito. Ganyan. Yan. Okay, docs. Alright? Ay, once you get to that part, nakagano na kayo, stick to that block.
Ito na.
Ay, open pa dito. Yan, para nakamapasok. Yan. Alright? Sige, we'll do a clean rehearsal.
Wala na kami.
Pag-tingin
na pala. Saan na sila?
With that song kasi para at least makuha lang natin.
I don't like it! I don't like it! It's pangit! I don't like it! Pangit oh! Pangit oh! Ayoko niyan! Ayoko niyan! No! 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 No!
Yung mga gowns.
I don't like that!
But madam, we agreed on this.
I don't like it! Pangit! Pangit! I don't like it! I don't like it. Nasaan ba si Evelyn?
Okay, Fred, we'll focus kay Laura.
I don't like that. Don't show that to me. Don't like it. Hate it. So
Bago na yan soon.
si Evelyn ang mamimili ng gown. Diba? Si Evelyn ang mamimili ng gown. Tapos mo na, nagpapakita niya, pangit naman, pangit.
Shane, anong sunod dito after ito? Huge revelation on your character. No? So parang like, it's too much of a coincidence no, na of all people, yung inaanak mo pa ends up working with your son, for your son.
Hindi ka ba ina-api ng mga debera?
No? Anong api? Hindi na. Sobrang mabait nila sa akin doon. Lalo na po si kasi po, nang baka hindi rin ako magtagal sa kanila ni. kasi, sabi kasi ng doktor, hindi ko sa'yo itong ganito na to. Parang ikatantanan ng swerte. Pero ang swerte, may katandem na kayod, ha? Nang, kung alam niyo lang, grabe po yung kayod ko kasi. Hindi ko naman bata ko kailangan. Anak, tayo ko. Ano ginawa ko? Nagpula mo yung kandila at ginawa kong lotion. Ay, iba yun.
So, welcome back from the first half of Time of Our Lives, episode 5 of Hello Heart. Okay, so immediate reactions from the group.
Kinilig ako.
Hindi, Johnny, you have to go on record. Ano yung sinabi mo sa chat natin? You have to go on record for this.
Sabi ko, kinilig ako. Basta yung, alam mo yung sumasayaw sila, tapos parang basta may look dun si Gerald na parang after ni Gigi yung ano niya, yung paa niya. Tapos parang may look siya dun eh. Tapos parang,
yeah.
Pero nag-gets ko bigla yung sinabi sino nagsabi nun? Ikaw ata Jason before
si Jason.
Na parang kahit sino nga i-partner mo sa kanya, kaya niya mag-connect.
Yes.
Siguro nasa ano lang yan. Yun ang kanyang talent.
Kasi si Jet talaga, wala. He really brings his A game. Like, whatever the project is. Even if this is as simple as, ano ba dapat yung purpose? Or ano dapat narrative purpose nito? Which is like when there seems to be a connection and spark between them. Like, he really invests in it. So talagang, when he turns it on, he will turn it on. Meanwhile, remember, Johnny, when you were saying that first meeting between the two of them and he was too masungit in that public conference. And he's like, no, but direct, because I thought you said, this is my character. And I was like, yes, Jet, but we have to give something to the audience. Like, it can't be like pure hard because we still need to connect to you and be, and kind of like find something likable in you. And you have to think that as a public person, you have a public persona. And at that point, that's what you're doing. So he did soften it up a bit. O, yun nga, kulang pa sa'yo. So he's really like that kind of, when he's building on his characters. Kaya a simple dance scene like that could appear like that for Je. And to be fair also to Gigi, because I remember si Alora. Alora was sharing with me after that night, after that shoot. Sinasabi niya talaga sa akin, Direk, naramdaman daw ni Gigi yung eksena kagabi. So sabi ko, well, buti naman. So now she's being hard. Kasi
No,
talagang...
to be fair, Raz, I get what John Ray is saying. Parang ngayon ko lang na-feel siya yung leading man. Kaya nga, di ba, my comment is, hindi ko napansin na he's tall pala.
Yeah.
In that scene, it's very obvious na yung parang leading man attributes na tall, dark, and handsome. Parang ganun. Doon ko napansin for the first time. And we've been in 5 episodes already. So I guess it worked. Yes, I guess it really worked, that scene.
And this is coming from Mel, who likes Je more in his serious roles. So
Yes. Actually, yung scene na yun was really effective also for me.
Okay, so can we hear from the popster now?
Yeah, I get what you both are saying. Na yun yung strength kasi ni Gerald as an actor. He's not the best actor, pero dun sa pag binibigyan siya ng role, yun nga, yung leading man na role, without even trying, kaya niya yun eh. Parang forte niya actually yun. Mafe-feel mo na yung kilig, ganun. Or yung, I don't know, charisma. Basta yung look nga na ganun yung nire-require for that scene and for that role. But what I also like about siguro the first half of this episode, so there are still some scenes that focused on the kilig moments, but there's an underlying sadness all throughout those first how many minutes? 19 minutes. Even with them singing, dancing. I mean, we started with Mamita her health deteriorating, yung incontinence issue niya, and then yun nga, yung the doctor saying na there's not enough time left, and then that's when we transition to that party scene. And I know that's what you've been trying to work on, right? You want to have that drama aspect pa rin without going overboard. It worked here kasi it wasn't too dramatic, especially with the scenes. The scenes themselves nga na masaya naman. It's fun, funny, kilig. So more of parang nandun lang, bubbling beneath lang yung problem pa rin with Mamita and how they will deal with it. So that's what I really liked about that first half of the episode.
I like how you put it, how you couched it na parang it's bubbling under, no? Because really that's how it was, eh. Na parang tipong this is a dance right now, no? Kind of like dealing with the darker themes, and when I say dark naman, not naman sinister, but more like the heavier emotions, and at the same time, again, we always remind ourselves, no, it's a rom-com, and it's still about these two people and their journey of falling in love. So it really is a dance, and how to how to effectively navigate that. It's part of what really is what we had to take care of when in this episode. What's your take on that? That whole development.
My take is that as I said, I have a guess on what happened. I'm sorry, tama ba? Especially the cliffhanger, at the point that we stop. Yeah, yung reading ko from the way she reacted when she found out kung saan nagtatrabaho si Hart. And then yung question niya na, are they treating you well? Parang ganun, di ba? Something like that. So it made me think, did she leave because they weren't treating her well? Pareho ba yung situation niya na she's not as rich? And yung Rafael fell in love with her. So parang nagme-mirror dun sa nangyayari ngayon. So I think that's what my theory is, although I don't know how accurate that is. Ba't ka tumatawa?
No, because it's nice. Oh, okay. No, so I mean, it's good because this is what I. That's what we look for as storytellers. No, it's engaging the audience and getting them to actually come up with these things, not because you want them to guess what's going to happen, but rather because it's proof of being invested in the characters, know how they feel about the characters.
Yeah.
So it's good when you come up with all these theories, which I will not spoil, especially because we're gonna go to the second half anyway.
So far, I think the depiction of the illness is okay naman. It's, I guess, exaggerated sometimes, but so far realistic. But I don't want to see Sana, I hope it won't happen, is that she magically gets well because of something that happens. Pero on the other hand, I also don't want her to die. That's my fear also. Hindi naman siguro because this is a rom-com. So I'm hoping that maybe siguro nga siya yung bridge, but not to the extent na she will also magically get well at the end of the show.
Ako,
All right.
so the title of the episode, diba, Sam, is Time of Our Lives, which is, kaya parang ang first na sinabi ni Hart when she came into the room is parang there's still time left.
Yun nga, exactly.
Pero honestly, it felt a little out of place. I don't know if I can't explain it. Na parang yun agad, parang napaka fatalistic agad nung reaction nyo. Parang first time pa lang naman sinabi ng doctor na, she's already going into that stage na she might lose her bodily functions. Ewan ko I mean, to me, my reaction there was, parang yun agad. Parang hindi ba pwedeng konting sadness muna? Hindi yung parang,
Tipirin naman nila. I-budget nila yung sadness.
Alam mo yun, ganun agad yung reaction. Parang obviously, you don't have the luxury of parang going through that stage na parang kailangan you have to kind of push it na nandun na sila sa stage na make the most out of it na. Kasi parang labas na mamamatay na kasi Mamita, parang ganun.
Pero di ba they were throwing in hints naman ever since first episode na she has dementia, tapos may mga scenes na pakonti-konti na kita mo pa rin na nagde-deteriorate. It's not like ngayon lang naman pinakita talaga na nagde-deteriorate yung health niya, di ba? I mean, ang daming hints na talagang it doesn't look like she is getting well anytime soon. So tama, I think tama naman si Mel na we won't see her get well. I mean, even if this is a fantasy, ako
Yeah.
rin, yun yung expectation ko. She won't be getting well. And then yun may callback nga dun sa time is gold na phrase. So we need to spend or make the most out of yung remaining time here or whatever. Pero I also get nga what Johnny is saying kasi nga parang sinabi na, "Oh, wala na, mamamatay na, so wala na tayong magagawa." Parang gano'n yung point nung sa first half,
Yeah.
eh. Parang gano'n agad yung diagnosis ng doctor, 'di ba?
I get all the comments. I think if, for example, that this happened during the feedback meeting on the script, and you guys were part of the creative team, and you guys brought it up, what I would have probably said to address that is that parang it's such a remarkable shift, I suppose, no, in terms of reaction, and especially on all the characters that at this point, especially coming from fourth episode, we were seeing them in a lighter mood, di ba? Both Heart and Soul. So probably what I would have suggested if that those comments cropped up during the meeting, is to kind of like make it a bigger kind of how is it impacting Saul and why is it impacting Saul? I mean, how important is Mamita to Saul that this kind of news would be this heavy for him? I think that's part of what some of the scenes were like. But I think to support that, I would have suggested to kind of remind the audience of why is Saul and Mamita that important to each other. And I think you would go into like, ano nga ba ang history ni Saul with Mamita? Di ba? Mamita was the one who raised him and all of that, and that's why sobrang laking bagay sa kanya. So let's see how that gets resolved, and we'll go back to your feelings about it by the end of the episode. So let's continue watching the rest of the episode.
Action.
out yan! Out yan!
This is yung planting na it's really just tension headaches.
Tension headaches.
Oo. Stress. Yeah. Pero kasi it's also planting na because of that, you have to ask yourself, check for MRI. For something, some procedure, I'm having the very and the idea is that you get the scare na para I might be needing now a hiatus.
I don't know.
So parang the idea is that it's going to be part of what scares you into pursuing.
Sir, tulong! Sir! Okay lang, sir?
Tulak niyo pa yung upuan ko. Tulak niyo pa yung upuan ko. Sige pa. Yan.
Cut!
Oh, ano tayo? Stick. Basta ako.
At the time na si Rafael at si Evelyn are still together, Saul was still young back then. So you got along really well with Evelyn. In fact, you really liked her. I have a little bit of me when you go there, but it's mostly fun on the side. It's an upper white chance. Okay, and then after this, just so everybody knows, no, we'll have 2 tight shots on this.
Yung white na lang.
5, 4, 3, 2. Action!
Very good naman, mamita!
Ang sabi mo, hindi totoo na ikaw ay nag-affair. Pero nakita ka nila sa ito, kaya ka mo. Ang sabi mo, kaibigan mo kami yung lalaki mo.
Mamita, what's wrong, huh? What happened?
I'm sorry. Hindi ka nagkaroon ng pagkakataon ng buong pamilya dahil sa akin.
Cut! Very good po.
Elko.
Parang ito yung ano. Kailangan hindi mo kasi marinig mo sinabi niya na tibay puso. So, on action naman, basta yun na ito, hindi ko na, parang ganun lang. Wala siya
May himatay ako.
Ready, rolling, 5, 4.
Sige, release nyo na yung traffic, yung arrival na lang.
Release traffic!
Lagyan ng traffic. Tapos, lakad na may papuntang pito.
3, 2,
Action!
Uy! Edad ni Ate Art!
25!
Bingo! No! 17! 17 si Ate Art!
Gaya naman
Okay na?
17!
Wala akong 17. Okay.
Malapit na!
Okay, next! Sa letra ng O! Ay, naku po! 17! 17!
Ay, edad ni Mamita yan.
Oh! Ay, dito na siya! Ay, sana
Kaya ako na kunin niya na sa kwarto mo na.
Dami ko gusto i-discuss.
Welcome back from Time of Our Lives episode.
Reset.
Grabe, ang strong ng reaction. John Ray, you might as well start.
Hindi, okay. I mean, so now I understand ko bakit ganun yung mga, di ba, mga linyahan ni Heart. Pero okay, kasi alam ko, like, Mel and Jason were like, bakit namatay si Mamita? Pero not, when I think about it, actually, I'm happy. Sorry, I'm not happy she's dead.
Joke lang. No. Let him finish now. Give him a chance.
The whole narrative, it's actually, I feel like it's good that she's dead at episode 5 para the relationship has room to grow somewhere else and not just within the conceit of they have to pretend like they like each other. I mean, yeah. Ayun, and taka parang yun nga, it brings the story to something different na hindi lang nakafocus dun sa sa pagpe-pretend nila as being a couple.
So before you continue with your other stuff, bilang mukhang may mga ikakasaka pang iba dyan. Quick reaction to that, Jason Mel. Like, John Ray actually thinks it's okay. 5th episode, Mamita's gone. Might bring them to new dynamics. How about the two of you?
My reaction is what I posted in the chat. My God! Seriously? Diba?
You called it. Ni-jinx mo.
Oo nga, I jinxed it. Plus, inisip ko kagad, my God, 3 episodes pa. Anong mangyayari sa 3 episodes, right? So, yun lang. I was shocked. I didn't think you would go there. Seriously.
Wait. Okay. Before we go to Jason, shock. But shock could be many things, right? But shock how, I guess, is my question. Like, people, I think the best way for me to process what your reaction is it could be shocking, but narratively, is it off?
No, narratively, it's not off. I agree with John Ray na it makes sense the way they've been talking or the way she's been depicted in the last episode. I guess siguro sanay lang ako na if somebody dies, a main character dies, it's usually towards the end. I guess that's where the shock is coming from. So naisip ko kagad, there are still 3 episodes, diba? So we already sort of killed off one of the main characters. So I guess that's where the shock is coming from. Not really from a narrative na that came out of nowhere. It's not like that. Because it really didn't come out of nowhere. Raz, what happened?
Technical failure.
Nagmumulto si Mamita. There you go. Ganyan talaga, Raz, pag pinapatay mo mga characters mo.
Kasi naman, and naisip, wala si Raz. Kasi naisip ko lang, wala man lang silang scene ni Evelyn, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Parang that's
Yeah,
why I
well,
was
walang flashback scene so far, pero
yeah,
tama
a
ka, wala pa
flashback
silang
probably. Wala
scene.
silang I thought at least magkikita man lang sila. They didn't even
Mhm.
have a scene
Feeling ko
together.
yung mystery incorporator si Evelyn.
Ah, puwede. Actually, nagme-make sense nga yung sinabi ni Mel kanina, eh, na feeling niya na 'di ba, na parallel yung lives ni Evelyn and ni
Yes,
ano, ni Hart. So,
feeling
tama.
ko, feeling ko.
Kasi 'di ba before sabi ko pinalaya siya and everything, pero mas nagme-make sense yung sa'yo.
Okay, Mel, sorry. You were saying.
I guess also, as I was telling them, I don't know if you heard it, na I was just shocked na she didn't even have a scene with the present day Evelyn. So I thought there would be an encounter. Tapos biglang wala na.
Mhm.
So I think with all of those things, that's why I wanted to dig dun sa comment ni Mel about it being shocking. Eh. Because on the one hand, I mean, for storytellers like us, that could be a good thing because, it's not predictable when that happens, right? When you say that you're shocked. And that's why I asked immediately, in what way? Because it could be off, eh, no? Para like, wait, what? Anong nangyari? Mali, or parang it doesn't feel right, or you didn't set it up right. So I think that's the more important thing. For as long as it isn't, then big reactions like that is actually quite, it could be good for us storytellers. With all the other reactions that you were seeing, like all these expectations, like you said, Mel, no, parang, yeah, but there are still 3 episodes, and you're used to having your characters die towards the end
Yeah.
of a series or of a season, maybe. There wasn't even an encounter between Len and Mamita. So all of these things, for now, I think let's stock it, and I want us to kind of go back on all of those things, no? Whether yun nga, all these frustrated expectations, pwedeng meron pa rin and lalabas na, oo nga, sayang, hindi nyo man lang sila pinapag-meet, di ba? I mean, now I can say that because obviously wala nang paraan na mag-meet si... This is not that kind of fantasy na mabubuhay naman si Mamita. So, but yeah, I mean, I'd like us to follow that and see whether, on the one hand, you're shocked, yes. On the one hand, it frustrates a lot of the things that you were expecting or kind of got built up in your heads these characters got introduced, when these plot developments got introduced. But let's see towards the later parts of the season of the series if kumusta sa inyo yon, kung talaga bang kulang, sayang, missed opportunity for us as storytellers, for my writers, or whether it's okay, no?
Ako for me, did I want Mamita to get killed? Of course not. Kasi 'di ba, medyo central na rin yung character niya and yun nga, I think it says a lot na during those first 4 to 5 episodes or 4.5 episodes, that you started, or at least I started to care about her character na I was shocked also when she suddenly got killed. Um,
Killed, grabe naman
pero,
yung
hindi
killed.
naman killed, pero it's when she died.
like
When you
like
killed her,
like you guys
kaya
are
galit kami.
you're making it personal to me. Like I actually killed her. Alam mo, if anything, blame the writers, not me. Okay, I only said yes to that narrative development.
Pero I also liked it in a way nga na syempre na-subvert yung trope. Kasi 'di ba si Mamita is one of the syempre parang ano rin siya
Main character.
audience favorite, right? So you would expect, especially if there's a season 2, you would want her to be there. Ano na lang siya ngayon, mga flashback episodes na lang siya, tsaka mga angel dreamlike sequences na lang yung pwede niya gawin in season 2, 'di ba? Pero that's what I liked about it. Kasi it's also powerful. I mean, even if, so technically hindi naman jarring yung shift ng tone sa second half. Kasi just like what I said, sa first half naman binibuild up na siya eh.
Na malungkot,
Um,
yeah.
and that's what made it more powerful din. So far, I think yun yung pinaka-memorable sa first 5 episodes. For me, yung scene na yun, yung transition, yung sinabi niya na, yun na nga na, I want to rest, and then, may mga hints na like even si Saul, her recognizing Saul na finally, and then Saul saying, okay, ano ba yung sinabi niya? Parang may permission na niya na, okay, rest ka muna, ganyan. Tapos biglang shift to, yun na nga, yung parang wake. So, very powerful for me yung transition na yon.
Baba ka may mamita.
So again, I didn't like, of course, that her character died, pero I mean, it makes sense eh. Like yung sinabi ni John, it makes sense eh. Usually, central siya sa kung paano rin mare-resolve, di ba? Yung love story sa end. Pero right now, parang mas may reason na ma-develop further without her na parang siya yung, what do we call her? Parang usually Deus Ex Machina, di ba? Yung gano'n na parang siya
Yeah.
yung nagpapa
Yeah.
ikot ng everything sa kanya na nagre-revolve yung conflict and resolution. At least tinanggal niyo na siya agad. So, mas magiging exciting kung paano pa ma-develop further sa remaining 3 episodes yung love story nila na given na nga na hindi na kailangan mag-pretend.
Nakakatawa that you mentioned about like paano kung may season 2, paano yan? May Angel na lang siya
Wala ba?
or
Wala pang
dream
talks for season 2?
or dream na lang na. No, it's well, when we did it, I'm in no position to make that decision or to say anything about it, no. But when we were doing it, obviously, it's a self-contained thing, no? And we're just happy to kind of like deal with it that way. But when we were, I brought it up, I pointed that comment because nung nagkukwentuhan nga during the set, so everyone's really enjoying the same thing that you guys said. Everyone fell in love with Mamita. Of course, at some point, there was a final shooting day for Celeste because, she has less scenes than the rest because her character has died by the time that you get to 6, 7, and 8. And everyone was kind of missing it. And, when they love the scene, it's like, naku, papanoorin ko second season nito. Ganyan, I mean, naggaganon sila. And then si Mamita, si Celeste was in one of those scenes na doon sa nag-cheer yung everyone. And then she's like, wala naman na ako sa next season kasi. But thank you, Jason, thank you for your suggestion because I can always suggest that, no, Celeste, you can still be an angel.
A ghost.
Or a ghost, or come in dreams. But I think also, I love what you said, Jason, about like it being powerful. I think that's what I wanted it to be. And you articulated it very well. That's what I was gunning for. No? And one of the things that I wanted to really focus on, this is one of my favorite episodes. It's really hard. The entire series, I'm really proud of our work here. And I like so many parts of it. It's hard to pick which one is my favorite. But in terms of impact and in terms of how it came together as an episode also, and especially the challenge, I think this is really tops also itong episode na to. And I like that you put it that way, no? Na parang it was powerful. And I like it that in discussing that, you were able to kind of reference the other things within the episode and even before the episode na ito, because it kind of it pays tribute to the design. And that's something that I'm also very conscious of when we are doing things like this, no. I'm always looking for like hindi pwedeng yung sakalang natin naisip, di ba? Yung parang we have to be on top of it as the storytellers. And so the elements that you put in, they have to come together and make sense. And that there's whether there's a motif or there's a structure or there's a pace to it, kailangan ito has to come together. So I like it that you mentioned that.
Ako I like na, although John Ray touched on it earlier nga na yung technically start ng love story nila, or at least yun ang sure na magde-develop na talaga yung feelings nila for each other, started sa end naman ng relationship ni Sol and nung grandmother. So parang may, alam mo yan, start and end ng... Kaya I think ang apt rin nung na napili niyo yung Time of Our Lives. And I know you mentioned naman na you were planning na para mga song titles yung gagamitin. Pero I think ang apt ng title given nga dun sa mga nangyari dito. And then yung isa ko pang napansin is dun na sa latter part, nung sinabi niya yung title, yung Hello Heart, nasayangan ako, hindi sa scene, nasayangan ako na hindi siya actually napapanood sa cinema kasi medyo sa romcom ganyan yung money shot sa cinema na nagsisigawan na yung mga tao. Yung pagdating kasi hindi naman siya surprising. I mean, when we
Yeah.
heard somebody knocking,
Yung
alam
nasa
naman
door
natin kung
pa.
sino yun, di ba? It can't be anybody else.
Yeah.
Oo. Pero, the way it was set up, ganun pa rin yung nagkakagulo yung mga tao na part sa cinema. So, nasasayangan
Nakapanood
ako
ka
na
na ba,
hindi
Jason,
siya actually sa movie.
ng premiere. Sa premiere, ganyan nga siya.
Diba? Ganun siya. So, yun yung na-feel ko eh. Nung, alam ko naman na si Gerald yung lalabas doon. Wala namang ibang pwedeng nandun, di ba? So, alam
Si
ko si
Jason
Gerald talaga
daw.
yung nandun.
Si Jason daw yun.
Ayun na nga. So, si Jason bigla yung nandun, diba? Pero even if I expected it, nandun pa rin eh. Nag-work pa rin yung scene na yun. So for me, yun. Doon ako nasayangan lang na, yun nga, walang audience na
Wow.
kasabay na mafe-feel mo lalo kasi yung kilig eh. Pag may maraming mga taong kasama, lalo na kung malaki naman yung fan base ng dalawa, di ba? I'm sure nagsisigawan na sila by that time. Doon lang ako nasayangan na sayang yung experience. Parang
Sayangan
ang
talaga
saya
siya.
nito kung sa mga
Nasayangan.
ko pinanood.
On the point of it being Deus Ex Machina, no? The death of Mamita being like an unexpected thing or a shocking thing. How does it feel to you now, and where are your thoughts or feelings knowing that we are still just in the middle, or at least medyo middle, and this big plot development happening now? Does it make you feel excited, or does it suddenly make you feel lost because of how big Mamita was as an anchor also in the story?
No, I liked it. I feel like parang ngayon is like, okay, end of second act. Parang ganun. Now we're getting into the third act. Like maybe this is like the really, really interesting part. So, yun nga, like I said earlier, I'm good with the change. Actually, I welcome it. Kasi nga, now we see something completely different with the story.
Yeah, so ako I actually expect, which you can see na from the preview, na medyo may change in tone. Which is now the more, I think, romance part of the story already. So in that sense, siguro when the shock wears off, I'll be more accepting. It's just that it was really a shock. Seriously. I didn't expect it this early.
Wow,
Yeah.
achievement yun, Mel, ah. Achievement yun. To have shocked Mel of all people
Now, Jason, did
In a
you
ro-
expect it? I
in a rom-com.
I think I expected it somewhat. Pero towards the end, yung kapag magkasama na sila, but not like in the middle. So that's why I was shocked. But yun nga, may tonal shift na. Halata naman eh, from the preview from the next episode.
Walk out na si Mel.
Yeah. Comment ko, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So let's hope that we continue on with that. We're still good on 5th episode. I think happy na ako kung okay pa kayo dito kasi more than 50% and okay pa tayo. So,
Pasado ka na.
Yes.
Oo, pasado na ako, guys. After nito, parang I can commit mistakes na. Wow. So, next week, we go to episode number 6. Yay! So, thank you for that. And wag na kayong magalit. Hindi ako ang pumatay kay Mamita. So, please, hindi ako ang may kasalanan. But yes, thank you so much for that. And I'll see you guys next week for episode 6.
Bye.
Bye.